So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Let me get myself on screen. Oh, wrong one. Let's try that one. Yeah, that's a bit better. Don't like that band. Anyway, um, look, I'm a bit, I'm a bit pulled through a hedge backwards today. I've just been out to put my washing on the line because it's so amazingly windy and sunny here. And I just had the biggest surprise ever, which is that there's real warmth in the sun. It's only February the 1st, and yet I could have stood there and just felt the sun on my face for any length of time. It was so gorgeous. So, excuse for feeling a little or looking a little bit bedraggled, or windswept, I should say. That's how it is today. So, what am I sharing today? Well, I've had a very interesting few days. And so this is lessons from a lurker turned liberator, right? By the way, I'm not expecting many people to show up live, unfortunately, because StreamYard was messing around. It wouldn't let me upload the image. It wouldn't let me, and it kept just freezing and crashing. So I was really late in notifying people. So maybe that nobody joins us live, and that's fine. I'll still chat to you like you're there anyway. And if you're listening in to any of this on replay, then you know the rules or you know the drill. Hashtag replay, let me know. So, my last few days, I described it as judicious lurking, certainly purposeful lurking, certainly lurking with intent, all of those things. And so, what have I been doing that makes me say that then? Well, I joined a few training sessions. Um, I joined a webinar last night. Sorry, itchy eye. I joined a power hour this morning with the outfit, I suppose, that know all about the email provider that I use. So if you're on my mailing list and you get my emails, it's through this particular system called Active Campaign. And, it's so amazing what this system can do. And they had a power hour this morning, which is normally where you go if you've got some questions you want answered. Didn't have any questions, didn't have anything burning right now. But I decided to show up because I knew that there would be things that I would learn. I knew that just by being in that environment, listening to the questions, listening to the answers, seeing what other people are doing, that I would learn stuff. And sure enough, both on the webinar last night and in the power hour this morning, I've taken away loads of stuff, some of which I can apply immediately, which is so helpful. Some of which will be things that I'm storing away that I can use at a later date. And some raised really important questions for me that I knew I needed to get answers to. So I was actually straight on email this morning asking some of those important questions because I realized I needed some answers. And then at the back end of last week, I also attended a training where I didn't necessarily have a burning question or an issue or anything that needed to be resolved. I just knew that I wanted to be in that space. So there's something else about when you're, for me, when you're part of a group that either understands you or where you have that shared interest, that common interest, which in all of these situations clearly I did, whether it was with the folks from Active Campaign who are helping me get the most out of my email system, whether it was the webinar last night, which is really all about making sure that I'm keeping on top of the way I'm presenting stuff, or whether it was some of last week's stuff I attended, I know that I get a proper boost from it. And there's what I realized is that I get, the old thing about introverts are drained by people. And yeah, it's kind of true. We're drained by the wrong people. But for me personally, I am recharged by being around the right people. I am recharged by being around people who get me, who understand me, who give me space, who don't try and dominate me, who give me time to ask my questions and to provide answers. So I appreciate lurking in those groups where actually I'm with the right people and like-minded, positive people, where I know that I'm going to absorb some of their positivity, some of the great energy from it, and not be drained. And of course, because I didn't have a particular issue or question on any of the trainings, actually, I I would go on and off camera if I was doing something else, but I was still listening. I was still part of it. So I was able to lurk in a way that worked for me at the time. And it made me realize that I miss being around the right kind of people. I don't need to be face to face with them, but I do need to show up with them in groups and in the right kind of meetings. And some of you may know that I've just launched a new, I say launched, I've just released a new downloadable, which is the mid-career introvert's guide to mastering meetings, because so many of the clients that I've been working with recently are coming up with this thing about, meetings is their big challenge. So I realized that I could help quite quickly in a number of different ways just by providing this free downloadable. And if you haven't got it and you want it, just put a yes in the comments, either live here now or hashtag replay, yes to the mastering meetings, and I'll make sure that I get you in the cycle. But it made me realize that we don't we don't necessarily hate all meetings. I certainly don't. It takes more energy to be in a virtual meeting because I'm devoting all of my energy to that silly camera. Um, so it does take more energy. But for me, it's still a fantastic way of connecting with the right people. And it's one of the things that I noticed that flourishing introverts, those who are not hiding, it might be tough, it might be a bit of a struggle, but it doesn't stop them. And I was writing something only the other day about confidence and about how you may remember that I'm a big fan of Rob Young, Dr. Rob Young, and his approach to confidence. And his definition is something like confidence is having the ability to take action no matter how challenging it is. And that for me is the type of confidence that I'm continually building and reinforcing and looking to help other people with. I'm looking to help them not be kind of brash in your face, I can conquer the world necessarily, but I can take action no matter how challenging it may be. And so watch this space for more around that, because I realize that we need confidence to show up in meetings where maybe the chairperson isn't as competent as they might be, where perhaps some of the attendees are kind of, are a bit more challenging, where maybe they talk over me and where I maybe need to step into my assertiveness. And that all of that means that I need to pre-charge beforehand, plan for the meeting, and that way I'm more likely to give of my best. Uh, what else is new? I realized that I've been burning the candle at both ends for too long, and my sleep has been really bad. And if Carrie was watching with us now, she'd say, look at your biorhythms, which I haven't done yet, so I will have a look at that. But my sleep is really bad. I'm kind of waking either around 3:30, 4 in the morning and then can't get to sleep. Or in the case of the other morning, I was still awake at gone 4, having gone to bed before 11 for sure. So, sleep is eluding me at the moment, that's for sure. And what I've realized is that working too late, which is what I've been doing quite a lot of, because there's a lot to do, isn't serving me well. So I've engaged some specialist help. And I want to pat myself on the back for that. because whilst I can do a lot of this myself, it's not helping me stay in my zone of genius. And actually, why don't I pay other people to work in their zone of genius so that I can work in mine? So I'm really quite proud of myself. The fact that actually what I've done is I've engaged some specialists. And I hope you'll start seeing the results of that fairly soon, because it means that things might get a bit slicker, that yeah, there'll be more consistency. I know I don't post often enough, for instance, in Introvert's Corner. I think I've got a bunch of people waiting to get in that I haven't let in. I've got a bunch of people that have joined that I haven't welcomed yet. So there's a few admin type things that I need to now focus on that are my responsibility, so that actually what I can do is then delegate the stuff that other people could be doing to those other people who do it best. So that's probably my message for today, which is, in summary, a reminder that lurking in and amongst the right people is a very positive thing to do, as I demonstrated over the last sort of certainly 5, 6 days. And there are times where I need to stop lurking and show up fully, and times where it's absolutely fine to lurk. So some judicious lurking is what I'll be looking to do a bit more of, if it puts me in the company of and in front of the right kind of people. Thank you. I don't know who that is. I've just popped this on the screen so you can see. Thanks for letting me in. You're welcome. The thing about StreamYard is that unless you've given StreamYard permission, all it shows me is Facebook user. But I'm glad you're here, whoever you are. And we normally show up. I'm normally here every Tuesday around about 1 o'clock GMT. I won't be here next, did I say Thursday? Tuesday. I won't be here next Tuesday because I'm working with a client all day. So we'll have to miss next Tuesday. But there's usually something here around why lurking can be a positive thing and why we need to not give ourselves a hard time for it. And actually, when we need to know when to stop lurking, come out of hiding and start showing up. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just a short one again today. They're never too long because we only have little gaps in our calendar typically to fit things in. But thank you for joining me. And I won't see you next week, but I will see you the week after. Take good care now.